I'm gonna let this one go by. I mean, like, you know, the hard part is I see them coming before y'all, and I mean, I just see a blinking like 5 miles away going, that one looks like it's coming. In my head, I'm just like, I think it's, you know. A couple times I've looked and it was just stars. I like look up and I'll be like, that one's not moving that quick. I feel like we're sitting on top of it. You're like, that's the moon. Is it? Thank you, everybody. It was unbelievable. I mean, all right, I don't know. I've done comedy for a while. I've done a lot of different shows. They're not, they're not as all exciting as the Tonight Show. I did one in a prison once, like in it, like all the way in it. Like we went to them. Like I didn't like meet them out, you know. So we go in. Let's say you guys are the inmates. So I'm sitting here, I'm like doing my dumb jokes. None of it works. Every joke I have involves being outside in the past 30 years. Like, I'm like, traffic's crazy. You guys remember, people remember traffic here, right? So I'm doing my dumb jokes, and then an inmate gets up and starts walking towards me. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. You know, like he's gonna use me to break out. And I don't want to point at him, but no one's like looking, but I am using hand gestures. And like, what do you guys do on this side of the room? Should he be walking up like that? Turns out the bathrooms are behind me. He's a good guy. I judged him on what he was wearing and where we were at. It was my fault. So I'm like against a brick wall. And it's like goes like halfway up, and then the urinals are like all behind here. So then he comes to use the bathroom, and then he comes to the urinal right behind me. So then it's just me and him just looking at everybody, and he peed. He peed without even it was the most confidence I've ever seen in my entire life. I thought, whatever you think this guy did it, all right? That's not, an innocent man doesn't pee like that. That's a guilty, I'm not getting out. I took social media off my phone. I don't, it's too much. Like you walk around and just look at it all day. Facebook, they did a good job. It's a real good company. And Facebook's just too much. It's either everybody's best or worst days of their life. You know, like you're either like, I'm getting married or my house is on fire. No one's like, today's normal. Nothing happened. I have no strong opinions about anything. My wife gets mad because she was like, you don't like any of my photos on Facebook. And it's like, is this not enough? Like us just being married and living together? It's like, you know, how much, and I did like it. When we took it, I said, I liked that photo. Like I told you that. I'm in the photo. There's not much more that I can do in this photo's life. We've been married for 10 years, and we still fight. Like when you're married, fighting is open 24 hours, anytime. We got in a fight recently at 3 a.m. We woke up to get in this fight, and we live in Nashville, and we have a dog that freaks out when it thunders. So it was like thundering. So we have sedatives to give her because there's only so many times you can tell a dog it's just thunder before you're like, just take this. Hope this works. I'm not going to hold you through it, you know. So I wake up And I had asked my wife, I was like, hey, where are the sedatives at? And she was like, they're at the top of the cabinet. So I go get them. When I get them, I looked at the bottle, and the bottle said they were expired. So I had to like wake her back up. And I was like, hey, these say they're expired. And she was like annoyed. She was like, they're not expired. Those are new pills in an old pill bottle. And I was like, all right, you know, I should have thought of that. That's my fault. I mean, people come to our house all the time and they get milk and they're like, is this milk expired? And I have to go, that's new milk in an old milk jug. Are you the stupidest person I've ever met in my life? How could you not figure that out? That's basically what I told her. It wasn't as fun as that, you know, but that was the gist. And instead of just saying, you're right, that's a logical statement, she dives all in and tells me it doesn't matter because dog medicine can't even expire. Which she's never even heard a rumor about that. She doesn't know that. We don't know any dog medicine people. I know who she knows. And we don't know one dog medicine maker that's like texting her like, let me tell you a little secret about dog medicine. We've invented medicine that can't expire. All right, thank you guys so much. One of my favorite ones was, this was forever ago. We're going to a friend's house, and it was a 4-flight walk up. And so 4 flights, obviously I walk faster than Nick, and I used to wait for him, but we've just been friends too long. I can't. We're like an old married couple. I'm just gone. So I knew where we were going, and I knew that he did not. So I leave him, and I go into my buddy's apartment. I was like, Nick doesn't know where you live. So that's fun, you know, just see what happens. About 30 minutes go by. Nick finally comes into the apartment, and I asked him, I was like, where were you? He goes, I didn't know where to go. And I go, I know. So, like, you've been gone for a long time. You know, did you go back outside? He goes, I've been in someone else's apartment all this time. He went into someone's, he was just trying handles. And the door opened, he walked in, said, I'm with Nate, and went and sat on their couch. That's how far he made it. Think about where your couch is. That's how deep he made it into their place. And he's so confident, I mean, they had to be like, I don't know, maybe we know a Nate, you know? I've got to travel a lot, which is fun. I get to go to like different countries, and I don't deserve to go. Like, I don't know where these countries are at. I just go. I didn't learn about any of them. Like, I learned about Tennessee. I learned about the states that touched us in case they attacked. And yeah, and I was told the rest was Europe, and that's where all the gays live. So I didn't have a passport, you know? I was young. I first thank you. I can't thank you enough for coming out tonight. It means the world. And I've been making, this is how I've been closing shows on the road, and I want to close my special with it. I'm assuming that people saw the Netflix, the stand-ups, the little half hour. Thank you. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for coming out. So some stuff's happened since that special, and I want to give you some updates to a couple stories I told on that special. If you haven't seen it, I'll walk you through it. Don't, think you're going to be lost. And I think you've seen what I've talked about. I bet you're like, I bet we'll catch up quick. So the first update is about the Cape Fear Serpentarium. And if you haven't seen it, you could pause it right now and go watch it. But you might be like, I can't handle really much more of you. But if not, I'm gonna walk you through it, or maybe just a reminder. But a very quick, unfunny version is I went to Wilmington, North Carolina, to a guy's house, and he had a bunch of snakes, lizards, and a crocodile. And when I was there, a crocodile got out, and a lady wrote a TripAdvisor review about it. That's the very quick, unfunny version. If you haven't seen it, don't think that's all it takes to get a Netflix special. So the first thing is the lady that wrote the TripAdvisor review messaged me after the special came out. And you write a review on TripAdvisor, you can see how many people look at it, and it jumped 50,000 views the day the special came out. So, but she did not know this for a couple of days. So, I mean, she was like, I'm crushing it as a reviewer, all right? I swear. I'll bring your place. You better treat me right, Applebee's. I'll bring this whole place down. My wife was with me when I had that job. She's been with me way before where we're at right now. She was in it for the benefits. I got at the water company. We've been married 17 years. Thank you. And I know, the longer I'm married, the more I realize why she was put in my life. I would not be here if she was not in my life. I know all of this. Now, I've also become very reliant on her because of this. I don't know anything about me. Like, I don't know what I like and don't like to eat. I mean, someone be like, you want to try this? And I got to get her involved. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know how long to microwave something. I have to ask her every time, as if her family invented the microwave. How long do we microwave this for? And she's like, do it till it's hot. It's like, but I know you know a number, just say the number. I'm either gonna call my mom or you're gonna tell me the number. If she doesn't tell me, I type in 90 minutes and I walk away. One of my favorite ones was, this was forever ago. We're going to a friend's house, and it was a 4-flight walk up. And so 4 flights. Obviously, I walk faster than Nick, and I used to wait for him, but we've just been friends too long. I can't. We're like an old married couple. I'm just gone. So I knew where we were going, and I knew that he did not. So I leave him, and I go into my buddy's apartment. I was like, Nick doesn't know where you live, so that's fun, just see what happens. About 30 minutes go by. Nick finally comes into the apartment, and I asked him, I was like, where were you? He goes, I didn't know where to go. And I go, I know. So, like, you've been gone for a long time. Did you go back outside? He goes, I've been in someone else's apartment all this time. He went into he was just trying handles. And the door opened, he walked in, said, I'm with Nate, and went and sat on their couch. That's how far he made it. Think about where your couch is. That's how deep he made it into their place. And he's so confident. I mean, they had to be like, I don't know, maybe we know a Nate, So we get our picture, and we come back down, and we're driving back. And on the way back, since my buddy was driving, he did not see the dead horse, I'm like, well, you can't not see it. So it's just one road, and I was like, I'll just show you where it's at. So we're driving, and we get to it. I was like, it's right here. And I pointed, and the horse was standing up, doing unbelievable. One of the healthier horses that I've ever seen. So I learned that horses lay down to sleep. I did not know that. I don't know what I thought before that day. I don't know. That they lock their knees. That's why they have 4 knees. I don't know. That's what I would have probably argued with you about it. People put signs up that say, like, horses lay down, don't call 911, because people call the police. They drive by a horse laying down in some guy's yard, and they're like, y'all guys should go, like, deal with that. And they're like, some people knock on people's door. Hey, is your dad home? Your horse died outside. And I thought, you should hear it from a stranger first. So now we are basically at Mount Rainier. That was the whole car ride. And if you ever go, just so you know, you have to pay to go up it. It's not a free mountain. Someone bought it, and they're charging tickets. It's also all uphill. It's a nightmare. So be ready for those things. We drive up, we park, and we're walking up the trail. So went up it halfway. I mean, I can barely breathe. And this couple's coming down, so I stopped them. I was like, hey, is this enough where we're at? You know, is this like, you get it. Like, we're not trying to live on this mountain. And the lady goes, I'm 75 years old, and I did it. And I was like, all right, maybe that's why you didn't hear the question that I asked. Everybody's pretty cocky on the way down. I mean, there was women with babies. They had 3-month-old babies strapped to their chest. I was like, why would you bring that much extra weight with you? I left my wallet in the car. They looked exhausted. I'm surprised they're not just babies left up there and rangers have to come down. Whose baby's this? That's ours. We're gonna let it grow up and come down on its own. When I first moved to New York, I was there 3 months from Nashville, Tennessee. And I remember one night we would do comedy, then we'd always go eat at like a diner really late. And one night I'm sitting, I go to this diner, I'm sitting in the back, and this guy walks in with his CNI dog, but he's like pretending to be blind. Like he's not, like I'm really good at telling when people are fake blind. And I was like, this guy's not blind, you know? He walked in, he made a big announcement to it. He's like, hey, I'm blind, everybody, I'm blind. And then he started just knocking everything off everybody's table. Like, oh, I wish I could see what's going on, but I can't because I'm blind. And he had a CNI dog. He was leading the dog around the whole time. The dog never got in front of him. And I was like, it doesn't work like that, you know? Like, I don't think the dog builds confidence and is like, do some of these on your own. I just want to see, you know, if you get it. Like, so I'm watching all this happen. I'm getting pretty upset about it, you know, because I just moved to the north from the south, so I still cared about people. And I was like, I gotta do something, you know? And so they kick him out, and they get us outside. And I go out there, I look, I was like, all right, let me go. In my Mayberry head, I think this is New York's biggest problem. And I go over to him, I was like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why would you pretend to be blind? Like, how would you feel if you really were blind? And he was like, how would you feel if you were blind? I was like, what does that even mean? And then he sprayed me with mace. And he was so accurate. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I hope I get him. It was both eyeballs. The bridge of my nose wasn't even wet. That's how good he was. And when you're with mace, you can see for a second. And I remember, like, I was like sitting there, and I look up, and he runs across the street, and he gets hit by a cab. For real, it wasn't bad. Like the cab, like just kind of bumped in. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't, you know. Like, he's fine. I think he's fine. He could see after. No, I don't know. But he falls into the sidewalk. But I remember, like, thinking, I was like, I saw that cab. Like, he definitely should have seen it, you know? So it was like, all right, I mean, odds are he's probably blind, you know? It's his first day or something. I don't know. Like, maybe he's going through a lot. And I should have just backed up. Everybody asked, too. They're like, oh, was it, they would want to know. They're like, would you get sprayed with pepper spray or mace? And it's like, I don't know what kind of life are you living if you could tell the difference. If I knew something, I don't know. Could have been hairspray. I don't know. What do you? We've been traveling around like crazy, doing all these driving dates, and super fun. I like traveling. I love being on the road. I remember one time I was in Los Angeles, and I was going to South by Southwest in Austin, Texas the next day, and I had a really early flight. So I remember like the night before, I was like, just be normal and, you know, have a normal night. And ended up hanging out, become a bit of a problem. And I wake up the next day, and my flight is gone. I mean, I've missed it. And it's not like it's at the gate. It is in Austin, Texas. They are checking into their hotel. So I go to get my phone to get another flight. I've lost my phone. The night before, I lost it. So now I don't have my phone. So I have to go buy a ticket over the counter like it's the 50s. And when you walk up to a counter, they don't expect you to be buying a ticket like that. I got up there, and they were like, all right. I was like, I would like one ticket to Austin, Texas, please. And they said, all right, go buy it, and don't be weird about it. I go, nope, I'd like to write a check to you for one ticket to Austin, Texas. They didn't have a flight, so I have to do that at every terminal. I just have to keep going. One ticket to Austin, Texas, please. I finally found a flight, but the girl behind the counter, she's never sold a ticket like that. She's like, I've for 10 years that no one's ever done this. And she goes, I don't know how to do it. And she went back and got, probably the oldest lady I've ever seen. I think she's there for just this reason. And she came out, she had like that old credit card machine that you run, and she's like, I got it. This is super fun for me. It was weird to not have my phone. Everybody has their phone. I was going through the airport, and you just don't have it, and you just stare. We were waiting in line, and you're just like looking ahead, and people are just like, all right, dude, what is wrong with you? Just regular people, like, where's your phone? I'm like, I don't have it. I would like to talk to you, though. If you would talk to me, I'd love to chat for a little. It always, it shot down my dream because I wanted to play college basketball, and that didn't work out. It didn't work out because I got cut every year from my high school basketball team, so I had to play for my church because, the church can let you. They have to let you play, which is nice. That's a good, That would be, I guess they could cut you. You'd be pretty bad if they're like, look, we think you're good, but Jesus does not think you're that good. Yeah. He is our captain, so. And church ball was a lot different, too, because it was a half court, no three-point line. We played on carpet. That's your first sign. It's not going to count. And they gave us a basketball. We didn't have a ball. We would just stand out there and play on honesty. So you'd be like, I just made it. It was like, oh, that's a good shot. You're really good. I stole it. I forgive you doing it. It was moral points. It counts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Unbelievable. So I'm Nate. Pretty lazy guy. I realized how lazy I was recently. I was watching a football game, and I was sitting on my couch, and I was going to get something to drink. Right when I get up to go, one team kicked off to the other team. Before I could get back, they ran a 100-yard kickoff return, and I missed it. The guy ran 100 yards before I could get 3 to maybe 4 yards. That guy also had 11 people really trying not to let him run 100 yards. I had nobody. No one cared what I was doing. When you watch sporting events, too, I feel like the commercials that they have, they're advertising towards professional athletes. They have running shoes. They're like, oh, you should buy these shoes. Then it shows an NFL player running with a tire tied to his back. And you're like, all right, well, how do those shoes look with jeans and sitting down? Because that's how I will be using them. I got to get tire and a rope. That's a lot. That's a lot you're asking. Someone gave me an Under Armour shirt. Do you know those? It's skin tight. It just shows the worst parts of your body. I look better without a shirt on than with that shirt on. Just brutal. You know, in plastic surgery, how they draw markers on you and stuff? They should just put you in that shirt and be obviously you can see where we're going to go after the target areas. I always tell people I got to get back in shape, but I've never been in shape. So most people are if I can get back to my 20s, I would have to go back to 7. If I could get back to when I was 7, I was killing it. For me, a good workout would be walking to McDonald's would be a great start. Maybe stand up and eat it, see if that does something. Instead, guy keeps tigers, and then they interviewed him afterwards. They're like, hey, do you think it's too easy to buy a tiger in this country? And he was like, yeah, sadly it is. It's way too easy. And I was like, that was my favorite part, that shows why America's the best. I didn't even know you could buy tigers before I watched this. I would have been embarrassed to ask. And then I watched it, and I was like, I don't really have to jump through hoops if I want to buy a tiger. It's not an all-day thing. It's an hour. I'll be right back with our tiger. And everybody wants to get rid of guns, and what makes me nervous is you took away guns from people, those are the exact same people that will buy tigers. And that's going to be a much bigger problem. You're probably going to be like, look, here's your gun back. And they'll be like, no, I'm good. My tiger is way better than my gun. My gun missed all the time. My tiger rarely misses. Even if he does miss, it's just for a second. It's never long. If some guy dodges the tiger and he's like, your dumb tiger missed, it's well, he did not. He is right behind you now. And he is furious. So thank you guys so much, man. You guys were great. One of the first things they had to do, car manufacturers, Before crash test dummies were invented, they would use a pig in a car wreck. So they'd sit a pig, I guess upright, and this little pigs are smart. Pretty good day for this pig. You gonna let me drive a car? Pretty good, pretty fun day. He's got his elbow out. Are y'all kidding me right now? You gonna let me drive this car? I don't even know what that shows you. Pigs don't have necks. That's what I was around when I was growing up. I mean, I look at my daughter and I have more in common with a pilgrim. And pilgrims believed in witches. My dad goes to the hospital all the time. I mean, he has surgery 8 times a year probably. He loves it. He loves it. The doctor will go, look, you could just stretch. And he goes, let's just do the surgery. He had surgery because he was addicted to Afrin, the nose spray. Yeah. Look, I got addicted to Afrin as well. I would honestly tell you, if you don't know what it is, I would tell you not to get involved. It's one of the best things I've ever been part of. When I was on it too, my wife was furious. I had to try to hide it from her. She could hear it from 3 blocks away, just one little puff. What's that? I ain't gonna live like this. I ain't worked this hard not to do Afrin in my own home. So my dad, they go to the doctor, him and my mom. And the doctor was like, do you use Afrin? And my dad goes, no. And the doctor was like, I can tell that you use it. I was just saying that. So he goes, how long have you used it? And my dad said 5 years, which is a lie. And my mom is like, she's like, well, tell the truth. You know, she goes, he's used it for 45 years. He used Afrin 45 years. Just for reference, if you don't know, the back of the box suggests no more than 3 days. I mean, there's not a medicine on earth that tells you to give it a good 45-year run. One thing I got when I hit my foot was claustrophobia. Never had it. Actually got it here on the Simpsons ride, which is what's crazy. I mean, we're yards away from where my life fell apart. I rode that ride with my daughter, and we're sitting on it, and we had another buddy, and he has his 2 girls on, and so we sit there, and they pull the bar down, and the bar, my leg gets stuck in the middle, and it just opened a door that I never knew was there. I mean, it's like a problem. I had to stop the ride. It's super embarrassing to stop a child's ride and just be like, I'm just waving. I'm like, I can't do it. And then they opened the bar and they go, all right, you can do it again. I was like, I'm out, dude. And no one got to ride it because I couldn't ride it. We all had to leave. Yeah, ruined it for everybody. And that's claustrophobia. It just kind of ruins everybody's time. It's what's funny, the panic of claustrophobia is pretty funny though. I mean, it's not funny when it's happening to you, but how quick you go from normal to just an insane person is just all at the same time. So it's all kind of new to me, so I forget I have it. And I'll put myself in a situation and I go, there it is. I got an Uber once with like 7 people. And so we get in, I'll get in the 3rd row trying to be a good guy. And I climb in the back, they put all the seats up and it just starts hitting me. And I mean, I'm back there, you're like, just trying to be normal, you know, you're not talking. And then you just go, hey, you think you could roll the window down? You know what? Can everybody just get out of the van real fast? I mean, we're just driving down the interstate. Hey, could y'all crack do you mind if I drive the Uber? You think I could drive it? And wives are the ones that keep it together the longest in a relationship. If you see an old married couple, like 80-year-old, they're 80, the wife is just, she's with it, and her husband, where we at right now? Like I mean, our brains fall off a cliff, dude. Like the only reason he's out is because she's like, you better get out and let people see you a little bit. It's like some zookeeper walking some old gorilla around. Let the kids touch you. Everybody's trying to don't feed him now. Well, I think he wants it. He definitely wants it. He's too dumb to know he can't have it. The next morning, dealt with my daughter's generation. She's a generation that I feel like just thinks about themselves, you know? And so I go down to the breakfast. They have the breakfast buffet. So we're all going through it. This little girl's in front of me. And she has waffles. So she gets a waffle, and there's a coffee pot worth of syrup on a plate. So it's like you pour it, and then you leave it back on the plate, and then you go and eat your breakfast. So she gets the syrup, and she just takes it to her table. So now the syrup's gone. And I see this happen, but no one else does. So I'm hearing other people go through, and they're asking where the syrup's at. And it's starting to become a problem. I mean, people are like, where's the syrup? And the hotel's like, I don't know. That's all the syrup we have was out there. I know where it's at, but I'm not trying to get involved, you know? I didn't wake up and just think, I hope I get to talk to everybody this morning. I mean, when you roll out of bed, you're not like, I hope I'm about to get in the thick of it down there. So I'm just trying to say stuff as I walk by people. I'm like, maybe someone took it to their table. Look around, maybe. I just like keep going. You see that little girl's table over there? Maybe they have it. And no one's picking up on this, so I have to go get it. And this girl's sitting with a bunch of her friends. So I go over to them. I was like, hey, can we get that syrup back? That's kind of for the entire hotel. And they go, whatever. All of them. Just blew me off. And then the father in me kicks in. I go, all right, well, just a heads up, just so you guys know, I did nothing wrong, and you guys have ruined breakfast for everybody. I don't know if you've ever eaten out in public before, but do you see me over here with a tub of eggs? Do I have all the eggs? You did everything. And for some reason, you thought, I bet this is all my syrup. And where are your parents at, you know? A couple of them started crying. Felt good, to be honest. I was away a little bit. I like to practice on other children, you know, my discipline. I travel all the time, and if I fly Delta, if I buy a ticket through Delta's system, my name in their system is Nathan, and on my license, my name is Nathaniel. I do not remember making this decision. It's a big deal. You can't just change it. I've tried. I've asked Delta if they could change it, and they're like, we can't change it. And you're like, then I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, you know? If you can't do it, who can do it? I mean, is that why people call senators? Do they do it? I don't know. Our daughter in third grade, and for first grade, she started taking the bus. And it was the first time she ever took the bus. So if you know as a parent, you walk and stop, it's very fun. And so we got her on the bus. She went to school. At the end of the school day, someone from the school called my cell phone. They have my cell phone, they have my cell phone. They called my cell phone, and she said, hey, do you know what bus number your daughter's supposed to be on? And I said, I'm her dad. As in, are you crazy? Like, I was like, this is how you thought you would get this information, was to call the dad? You saw a mom and dad's cell phone. You go, I bet the dad knows. I was like, do you have parents? Have you ever seen a family before? You thought, let's call the husband? Unless there's two husbands, you should never call a husband a day in your life. I would rather you ask a lady that doesn't. I think she could get to the bottom of it quicker than I can. I had to go get her. I go, all right, I'll come get her. Tell me the name of this school and I'll come get her. Where does she go? The final update. That's what this next. The special after this is going to be just all updates. And it'll be something that you don't even know. You're like, remember my car didn't start? You're like, who is this update for? I like to drink iced coffee with milk. And Thank you. I told a story. I went into a Starbucks inside a Target. I ordered iced coffee with milk, and the guy gave me milk with ice in it. I did not want milk with ice. I wanted iced coffee with milk, and he heard milk with ice. I have learned that a lot of people do drink milk with ice. People send me pictures all the time of adults just drinking milk with ice, and they stay in the Starbucks. They don't even like run to their car like, this is so embarrassing, I gotta stop doing it. Like, they do it openly. My wife puts ice in our daughter's milk, and I was like, oh, you do that because of my, and she's not a big fan of my comedy, so she was like, I haven't seen it. I was like, we have Netflix, you know, and she's like, I don't think we do. I was like, I know we do, and she was like, I'm just so busy right now. So all of it's true, except my wife. My wife does like my comedy. She's very nice to me. But all the rest of it's true. And the truth of it, too, is it's happened to me twice. And let me tell you, one time is a lot of times. The second time, you start looking at yourself. You start thinking, you're like, what am I doing? I don't know if I know how to order. I would order it in a mirror to see what it looked. I was like, iced coffee with milk. I was just trying to see what they would see. I thought it was happening. There was a third time I thought it was happening. I was at a Starbucks at an airport, and she put the drink down, and I was like, they're doing this on purpose. I was convinced that they're just calling each other, like, let's drive this guy crazy. But she just put too much milk into it. It was an honest mistake. And she told me, because she set the drink down, and we're both just staring at it. And she just goes, that feels like a lot of milk, doesn't it? I was like, not as much as usual, but it does feel. So I've changed my drink up since then, and I honestly did it because I don't think I say milk good. I was having this one problem, and I was like, I'm just not gonna say milk. So now I drink iced coffee with cream. That's all I changed it to. I'm tired of saying milk. That's all. They kept giving me milk with ice. So I was like, I'm gonna say cream, you know? They can't do cream with ice. That's against the law. So I'll get rid of the one problem that I had. And I've only been drinking coffee for maybe 4 years. Not very long. I only order this one little drink. I get very nervous when I order coffee because it's a whole world, and I don't know the world, you know? They always ask you a bunch of stuff. They're like, what kind of cream? I'm like, just please do it. Just do it. You know? Sometimes they're like, do you want heavy cream or half and half? And I'll go, I'm sorry, I'm not taking questions right now. So if you could just do whatever you think it is, and if it's wrong, I won't even tell you. How about I will walk out of here as if that's exactly what I ordered. I will go outside, I will throw it away, and go try again in a different Starbucks. That's how I'll handle the entire, that's why I think they have so many Starbucks, so you can just keep going. Someone's got to get it. I have to get my wife's coffee. She has to text me what she wants because I don't know how to pronounce like most of the words there. So I just phone her because she wants this. And they're like, does she want it in Sweden? I'm like, guess we have to call her now, don't we? And I make them talk to her. I go, talk to a stranger's wife. Say what you said to me. Have you ever been to a Starbucks like inside? Like if you go inside and there's like a big long line and you'll be waiting and they try to take your order before you're even to the front? Like you'll be in the back, they're like, what do you want? You're like, oh, I would like to wait till I get right in front of you. Yeah, you know, did you see how everybody looked at me when you said that? I didn't care for that. So how about we do it like a regular, normal business, you know? And you let me do it right in front of you. Starbucks is like waving cars down on the street. Just be like, we're just trying to get your order started in case you ever come here one day. We took a trip to Florida, to Fort Lauderdale, and her and our daughter are flying from Nashville, where we live, and I'm flying from Detroit. We're meeting at Fort Lauderdale's airport. I have to find them when they land. So I called her because I was about to take off, and I was like, all right, what time do you guys leave? She goes, noon. And it was 11:30, and they're still at home. I was like, Laura, I don't know if you even know what an airport is. but if that plane was in our driveway, I don't think you could make it. And she said, that's what time we leave for the airport. Our flight's not till 1:30. And I was like, all right. So, what do you think I wanted to know when I asked that? Is that what you thought the best time you could give me was a time that means nothing to nobody? What time did you go to bed last night? Just tell me that. I'll just look up all the planes that land in Florida, and I'll guess which one I think you're on. She said, I'm sorry I don't talk the way you want me to talk. I'm like, I want you to talk like a regular person, all right? Like you've been around people before, you know? We didn't talk in Florida, I'll tell you that. She's good at not talking to me. She can go a long time. She could do her whole marriage career. We got very lucky with our neighbors. Our neighbors are super cool, and we're very close with them. They all have real jobs. They went to college and stuff. And one of them is a management consultant, so he manages all the consultants. And yeah, it's a tough job, all right? There's a lot of consultants, and he's like, you better get back, you know? You just can't consult up in here. So he's busy. Our other neighbor's an actuary. I thought that was with birds. I was like, what's that bird right there? He goes, I don't know. And I was like, as an actuary, you don't know what that bird is right there? I had a hard time in school. When I barely graduated, got into a community college, barely got into a college they have to let everybody in. When we were doing these driving shows, we were all on a bus together. I convinced Nick that I didn't know who Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding were. Nick is learning this, that I do know who they are. He's learning right now with you. I never told him. I absolutely know who they are. He brought all his references are just 90s sports references. He only can reference the 90s. And so he brings up Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding, and I was like, who's that? He's like, what? You don't know who they are? And I was like, I don't think anybody knows who they are. And he was like, a huge story. It was like figure skating is like a mafia hit. I was like, I've never heard this, dude. Don't you think I would have heard it? I mean, I was like, no one knows this. He's like, he's losing his mind. I go, they should make a 30 for 30 if it's that. They did. Another guy's like, they should make a movie about it. He goes, there's a movie. And he's just losing it. I had jet lag there. I did not mind it because I woke up early. I woke up at 5:45 a.m. and I don't ever wake up that early. So I was like first in line at the breakfast buffet. Here's what I will tell you. When you get up at 5:45 a.m., noon is pretty far away. I mean, we'll bet your life it's noon, and it's maybe 8:30. By 6 p.m., it's like, how are people out? Why won't the sun go down? That's the next phase of my life. I'm getting up early, you know. We're getting up at 9:15, a little bit. Yeah, I've never seen my daughter go to school, but I've been close. I'm excited to be here. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. And a couple, all right, some people. And we were married, and me and my wife were in Nashville last summer, and we went out on the lake with some of our friends, and we were floating out in the water, and there was a guy in a boat, like right next to us, and my wife was like, oh, that's my ex-boyfriend in that boat. I didn't know who he was. She didn't have to say anything at all. She was just basically like, are you having fun? Because I would like to put a stop to that and make you stare at this guy the rest of the day. So I'm staring at him, and then I look at her, and she's staring at him. I feel like she's staring at him to see what her life would be like if she didn't marry me. So I started staring at him because I was like, I'm gonna see what my life would be like if I didn't marry her, you know? We were both putting so much pressure on this guy, and we have a daughter. We have a 3-year-old daughter, and we took her to Disney World, and I made the mistake of like telling my friends. They were just like, I don't know why you're taking her, you know, just wasting money. She's not gonna remember it. And it's like, it's exciting. Like she believes in Minnie Mouse. Like it's fun to see her get excited. Like, what should I do? Should I just put her in a closet and be like, do you remember yesterday? No? Well, until you start remembering things, I'm not gonna waste any of my money on you, you know? I live near Montreal. I've been here a few times. Last time I was here, had a bit of a too much of a good time. Is that how you should say it? I was staying here at the hotel, got super drunk, and locked myself out of my hotel room completely naked. And I remember getting all the way out, and then I hear the door shut, which is the most boring noise I've ever heard in my entire life. So I'm standing there, I'm like, what are you gonna do? And I was like on the 7th floor, and I was like, oh, window, I'll just jump out of that, you know? That's easier than talking to my wife about this. And I looked to the left, and there was a cleaning lady, and she's just staring at me. And I'm just like, what are you doing here? And you know why she's there? Because it's like 11 a.m. That's why she's there. That's how far in the day it was. And I looked at her just like, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, this happens to the best of us, right? And she was like, doesn't, it's never happened before. And I don't even have, I don't have like a body either that's like, you're welcome. You know what I mean? Like I did her a favor. I was like, come on, it's your lucky day, all right? Take it in. I do nothing to try to lose weight. I'm just kind of riding it out, seeing here's where we're at right now. What I've started doing, though, is I tell people to weigh 300 pounds because, yeah, I'm a pretty dumb guy. Just, I think it's pretty obvious. And it's, I think, I've thought about, like, time travel. Like, if I went back in time, knowing everything I know now, I don't think I would make a difference. I don't think you would even hear about it. If I went back to the 20s and I like saw some guy on like an old phone, I'd be like, hey, eventually they have phones you just carry in your pocket. And he'd be like, yeah, how do they do it? It's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know they're doing it. It's like a satellite or something. And they'd be like, what's a satellite? Well, I shouldn't have even brought that up then. It's like a round metal dish or something that's got to go pretty high in the air. I honestly don't think I could prove I'm from the future. I mean, they would want some proof, you know? Who's the next president? Oh boy. We got very lucky with our neighbors. Our neighbors are super cool, and we're very close with them. They all have real jobs. They like went to college and stuff. And one of them is a management consultant. So he manages all the consultants. And yeah, it's a tough job, all right? There's a lot of consultants, and he's like, you better get back, you know? You just can't consult up in here. So he's busy. Our other neighbor's an actuary. I thought that was with birds. I was like, what's that bird right there? He goes, I don't know. And I was like, As an actuary, you don't know what that bird is right there? I remember nothing from school. People talk about history to me, and I'm like, I don't know when you guys learned that. I think we skipped all of this. I almost didn't graduate high school. I had an F in science. I was taking a class called science my senior year in high school. I mean, I had an F, and my dad went and talked to the teacher and just said, look, just give him a D. He's not going to do science stuff. And the teacher agreed to it. She was that confident I wouldn't touch the science world. We took ACTs, and I got a 17 on it. And if you don't ACTs, I mean, 18 is, they're like, that's not good, man, but you made it. 17, they're like, are you enrolled in this school? Like, what are you doing? The only thing I remember is in 7th grade, we had a kid fist fight PE teacher. That stuck with me. I mean, he was too old to be in 7th grade. He drove to 7th grade. If you're a 7th grade teacher and one of the kids drives, you just know you got to fight that kid one day. Like, I mean, it's just happening. Like, I've done pretty good during COVID. Because I feel like I lost some weight during COVID. You could go two ways. If you wanted to gain weight, this is your time. I mean, everybody's fine with it. You can just do it. But I've been doing all that up until COVID. I've always lived by that rule. So during COVID, I was like, I need to stop. And my neighbor started working out in his driveway. And so he was like, let's work out in my driveway. And, you know, I make a lot of excuses during COVID. You're like, I'm just so busy. You know, I got a lot of stuff to do today. And he's just out there. So I started doing it with him, and he had a trainer. And I'm not a big fan of working out. Never done it. And I told him, I was like, I just want to do upper body stuff. And they go, all right, well, how about we just do legs every day? That's all it is legs. I think went to Australia as well. Australia is very far away. I'm going to tell you, our Earth is bigger than I thought it was. We flew 16 hours, over 500 miles an hour. Barely made it. Barely. I think we went the wrong way as well. One of the best fights we got in, the fight wasn't good, just ridiculous fight, was over the saying one fell swoop. Just over that saying. My wife and I, hold on, this is the last one. I just hear one in the background. Because you hear it from a far distance. And then it's like, he's going that way. Sound like he's going the other way, right? All right. Or like, we don't even hear it, and I'm just up here. I mean, haunts me for the rest of my life. Every show, we're back and doing theaters, and I'm like, is that a helicopter? Do you guys hear a helicopter? They're like, inside the building? I'm like, yeah, do you hear it? Does everybody hear it? Everybody get down. Everybody quiet down. Is that a helicopter in this? All right. So we got in the fight, phrase one fell swoop. Just over this saying. And if you're a newlywed, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. You're right, it doesn't. This is a double-digit married fight. This is when you've already done all the dish fighting or the putting your clothes away fighting. This is when they're trying to mentally break you. They got you almost how they want you, and this is the one that sends it over the edge. So my wife, she wanted to go visit her parents one weekend, and her parents are divorced, and which has been hardest on me, to be honest. That's something people don't talk about, you know? When you marry into divorce, I mean, they divorced because of her, not me, so why do I have to go to 50 different houses? So she wanted to visit her parents, and she said, I want to do it in one fell swoop. Now, I've never heard my wife say the phrase one fell swoop. We've been together 20 years. She's never said it. And it felt like someone that day told her, hey, you should start using one fell swoop more. And she goes, I'm about to call my husband. And goes, perfect. Use it 40 to 50 times on him. So she calls me, and she goes, I want to go visit my parents, and I want to do it in one fell swoop. And I go, all right, let's do it in one fell swoop. She goes, I want to do it in one fell swoop. I go, do it in one fell swoop, you know? Let's swoop it up. I'm down. And she kept saying it, one fell swoop, one fell swoop. I mean, over and over again. And then when she went to describe this one fell swoop trip, she goes, we'll go to my mom's, come home, then go to my dad's. And so I just like waited, And she didn't say anything, and I just go, that's not what one fell swoop means. Instead of possibly just being wrong, she goes, I know what fell swoop means. I go, yeah, it doesn't sound like you do, all right? And we have the same last name. I can't have you out there in a one fell swoop conversation. What do you think two birds, one stone mean? Let's just go through them all. I don't know if you know any of these. She hangs up on me. So I get home, and you know when you walk home and you've been in a fight, and you're like, all right, how long is this fight? Is it happening still? Is it over? I don't know. I got to fill it out, you know? She never uses words like sorry. I'd love to hear that. I mean, that's a word she definitely doesn't know what it means. And I say it all the time. I walk around the house with just a sack of just handing them out all day. I try to give her some, like, would you like to carry some of these? She's like, I don't have pockets, so I'm good. We didn't talk that whole night. I mean, we're just sitting there, our daughters, like, we're watching TV, eating, and I'm like, hey, you know your mom's crazy, right? And then she's like, did you do your homework, or you don't want to be dumb like your dad? And then your daughter's just like, are y'all lunatics? So I'm laying on the couch, and my wife she kisses me goodnight, and then she went to bed. And that was it, you know? That was like, I felt like it was her sorry, I guess. But she didn't say it. And so I laid there, and I'm just thinking about it. And you think about it a lot because you're like, all right. Because you learn the longer you get married, sometimes it's like, just let stuff go. You know, who cares? The next morning, I get up, and I kind of still wanted to talk about it. We didn't talk all night, you know? So I went into her. I was like, look, I got to tell you, I mean, it's just not what it means, you know? And that got it going real good. But I'm so good about this argument, you know? I thought about it all night. I was like, you got this one in the bag, man. You should bring it up. I'm not trying to date her anymore. I'd like to win a fight. We're going to die together. I almost woke her up in her sleep. That's how much I was so excited. I almost just started shaking her going, it's not what it means. Our marriage almost ended in one fell swoop. So, a pizza party is my nightmare. I'll have friends over for pizza. I'll be like, all right, we got to order pizza. And she goes, how much? I go, order the most. I don't want her out of pizza in front of my friends. And she goes, just call and ask them. I go, I can't call these 40-year-old dudes and just be like, how much pizza do you think you're going to eat tonight? They have a family. They work in a building right now. And you may just call them back, do you have big lunch today? No, I would try to save money, so I need to know exactly how much pizza you're going to eat in 8 hours. $50-50 if my zipper's up or down anymore. It's a true flip of the coin. I don't know what's happening. I've zipped up my whole life. And now, I'm like, all right, I'll see you boys later. Just head out. Take my pants off, make them off easy. I'm like, oh, that was 4 hours I was walking around like. I had a hard time in school. When I barely graduated, got into a community college, barely got into a college they have to let everybody in.